The Aburi project was for a client in the UK, and we're supposed to go and do a site visit to be able to build basically a processing unit, right? It's a processing house for what they wanted to do. They reached out to me from the UK and they had land in Poko, which is beyond Aburi. We're supposed to do a site visitation. So myself, along with the architects, went on site in the morning. We left Accra around 5 a.m., because we wanted to get there early, to see where the sun rises, how it sets over there. We drove through. It was our first time in Poko, and we're using Google Maps to get there. So we had to go into some corners and turns. But it was an exciting thing because it was one of the first times we've been there. Yeah, on the way we saw I think it had rained the previous day or so. So we saw puddles and all these things helps us inform how when you're designing. The good thing is, I think the client already had a design. We just had to polish it. Yeah, so when we're going, we saw people, people going to the farm, but they weren't driving cars or anything. We're in a 4x4, and they were using motorcycles. There was a guy that had a cantil or something on his. I think it should be one of the videos. Maybe we'll check it out. Yeah, and we got there. We saw Atakwane houses, which are sustainable houses in Ghana, made out of mud, but they are plastered it, and it helps with the cooling. It's usually in most of the villages. So we got there, we spoke to them. So the guy was supposed to show us where the land was, and he walked us to the place. We had a fun time with the head of the family. I think the head of the family had died or was sick. One of them, I can't quite remember, but that's basically what we did. And they showed us the land. It was pretty huge. It was, I think, about an acre or so. But they had said, in outside Accra, when you buy land, the boundaries, right? I think some friend of Toma or in Tom something, I forgot it, but they use it as boundary, right? So there are boundary plans, So they showed us where it was, but it had rained, like I was saying earlier. So, we had to read some parts of it, some places were inaccessible, so it was a fun experience. And then I decided to do a little video about that. I like to be out in the wild, so I left my hair wild to complement the wild. But yeah, that was, so we started working on it and we drew up a budget for it. We're supposed to go back, but then they stalled a bit. We just had to have more conversations with the client. So that's basically what happened with that particular site visit.